My Little Pony. Again! In the first two episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, we are introduced to the two princesses of the fictional land of Equestria, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, who later got a redesign and looks like this for the rest of the series. My friend Robyn Cinnamon Spiders, extremely talented and funny, recently redesigned Princess Twilight Sparkle's main forms: Unicorn, Alicorn, and Ruler of Equestria, of course. And last year they also redesigned the princesses Celestia and Luna. And on my 12th rewatch recently, it got me thinking about horses and ponies, and specifically one of my favorite characters in the entire world, Miss Princess Luna. I love the dynamic between Celestia and Luna, and also love that it was explored more through the later seasons, but their designs have always been a bit boring to me. Don't get me wrong, I love that their hair is all magical like this. Heck, I even stole that for one of my OCs. But the rest of them are just not the regal, godlike alicorn princesses that you would expect them to be from the way that they're talked about and all of the power that they're said to have. Plenty of talented artists have redesigned the princesses, and you know me, I want a piece of that cake. So without regard for the animatability of the designs, let's give these princesses a blast with the overcomplicated canon of clickbait. This video is not sponsored, but it was made in collaboration with Vograce. Vograce is your one-stop shop for anything you could ever possibly need manufactured. Everything from standees to pillowcases to tote bags, and of course, my bread and butter, stickers and keychains. Everything that I've ordered so far from Vograce has been insanely high quality and stunningly gorgeous. I have my own stickers and keychains that I designed on my computer and my sketchbooks and my keys. Can you tell that I love Rosalina? Vograce also has incredibly low minimum order quantities. What that means is that you don't have to buy 100 stickers or 50 keychains in order to have physical merch of your art. But if you do intend to sell your art, you receive higher and higher discounts the higher quantity of an item that you purchase. Shipping is incredibly fast and everything is packaged well, so nothing is damaged in transit, and I'm obsessed with how all of them turned out. So if you're thinking of making merch for yourself of your OCs or starting your own art business, Vograce has you covered for everything that you need. Make sure to go to this link here or use my link down in the description. It helps the channel a lot. Or if you want to support the channel and get some of my art, my shop with everything that you've seen here today is linked in the description. I recently, of course, released these keychains, and they are buy two, get one half off, which means that's $30 for 3 of my keychains, and I offer free shipping on any order over $35. And if you're subscribed to any tier of my Patreon, there is a special discount code for 20% off on there. I would love it if you checked out my shop. I worked so hard on all of these designs, and I have a lot more that I'm really excited to make. And if this inspired you to make some too, make sure to go to Vograce and get your own stickers, keychains, or whatever else you would like to make. Thanks so much to Vograce for collaborating with me on this video. Celestia is tall. Celestia is ethereal. Celestia is shiny. Celestia is bright. Celestia is the physical incarnation of the sun's warmth. And her toy looks like this. I was entranced by the princesses when I first started watching My Little Pony. I thought that the idea of an alicorn was groundbreaking. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I used to have many alicorn OCs, and one reason why is because of the pure aura emitted by Celestia and Luna in contrast to the other characters in the show. I love it when characters are sun and moon coded. I love it when characters have complicated sibling relationships. In a vacuum, I love what Celestia could have been. In the show, however, God, is she useless! What are you doing? The lullaby for a princess animation by Warp Out changed my life. This is what the show should have been like, God! So it's safe to say that I'll be taking some inspiration from that animation as well as the generally accepted fan interpretation of what a younger Celestia would have looked like in my designs. That's right. That's designs plural, because I'll be designing a young Celestia as well as a Celestia that's supposed to be the age we see in the show, however centuries old that may be. First, I'm making some changes to Celestia and Luna's origins from what we see in the show. They imply for some reason that they weren't born alicorns by saying,
"The birth of an alicorn is something Equestria has never seen." It is beyond even our understanding.
Which is a weird way to phrase it if they were born alicorns, even if it wasn't in Equestria, because then it wouldn't really be beyond your understanding, now would it? Anyways, so now they were 100% undeniably born alicorns through some magic destiny crap, and they are the first alicorns ever in the world. Boom, plot hole filled, paved like it was never there. Celestia is the firstborn, obviously, and as you can see, she has a long curved horn, a slender build, and also 2 pairs of wings. What? That'll be my first distinction between what's often referred to as true or original alicorns, Celestia and Luna, and artificial alicorns like Cadence and Twilight. Original alicorns will have taller bodies, longer horns, and the biggest difference will be 2 sets of wings. I love, love, love characters with multiple wings because it's giving angel, it's giving ethereal, it's giving otherworldly, and no other race of pony, including other alicorns, will have 2 sets of wings. I've also decided that in both of these drawings of the younger princesses, they won't have their cutie marks yet. Don't cite any lore from the show or the books because I'm changing stuff and I don't care. Celestia is the first alicorn ever in the history of Equestria, and she's trained by Star Swirl the Bearded to unite the pony races and become the princess and raise the sun, etc, etc. This is her design pre-banishing of Luna because I'm stealing the idea that using the elements of harmony to seal Nightmare Moon in the moon is what gave her the flowing mane and whatever because that's the coolest thing ever. A very popular headcanon is that her hair was pink before it was this cloud of CMYK. So of course I had to make her hair pink. I don't know what else it would have been. Maybe yellow, but no, there's no yellow in her hair. Oh, and believe it or not, we are already done with young Celestia. I'll have a lot more to say about Celestia in general in a second. Now for Celestia's full-grown design, I admit I went a little bit crazy. I really could not tell you what was going through my head when I drew this. I don't think I went as hard on the sun motif as I probably should have for Princess of the Sun. I think I leaned in too hard on making her look more ethereal and otherworldly rather than actually incorporating the correct motifs in her design, like the sun. Which is my bad, but please cut me a little slack. I just moved and I've been really stressed out lately. These are just concepts, okay? It's just little concept sketches, okay? Just use your imagination, okay? The past month and a half or so has actually been the worst creative drought of my life, but these are just for fun because I love My Little Pony, okay? I shifted her color palette a bit more toward yellow and away from pink and cyan that she'd had in her original design because the sun is yellow, and so accents that probably would have normally been pink ended up being yellow. Wow, I am already out of things to say about her. Her design kind of just speaks for itself. That's the thing with these My Little Pony redesigns. There's only so much that you can say about the same group of ponies from a show that stopped airing 5 years ago. In all honesty, when it comes to what the show was trying to accomplish with the princesses, especially because the art style of the show requires simpler designs, the princesses, in contrast, do look amazing in comparison to the rest of the ponies. The flowing hair is just an incredible element in their designs, and despite the buy our toys aspect of it all, the princesses do not look bad, not in the slightest. The show's willingness to push the proportions of a pony, wow, say that 5 times fast. The show's willingness to push the proportions of a pony to support their design really works to their benefit, especially in the case of the princesses, even if they don't really look like ponies anymore. Because even if there are modifications that I could make to Celestia and Luna to make them more visually appealing to me personally, the princesses already convey everything that they need to in their canon designs. They tower over other ponies, they have magic hair, their wings and horns are absolutely ginormous, and even without the crowns and jewelry, you can tell that they are royalty or deities of some sort. So my redesigns aren't meant to rectify anything like they usually would, it's just for fun. If I was given the concept of a pony princess of the sun and moon, what would I do with it? And here's what I did with Celestia. Truthfully, not too much changed. I feel like she still looks like Celestia, just with a more generous details budget. But Luna is where it gets really fun. When I was younger, my dream car was a dark blue Lexus with a decal of Princess Luna on the side. So do with that what you will. Luna is already extremely close to perfect. She's stunning, she's beautiful, I have no notes. Okay, I have a few notes. I'm not the biggest fan of her silhouette. Truthfully, I don't think that the flowing hair works as well on her. I think they should have utilized more black on her. I'm not a fan of these light blue pieces. I think that her crown looks bad, but everything else is great. The princesses just both have very similar silhouettes, which was a more difficult problem to rectify than I thought it would be. And in the end, they ended up with very similar silhouettes again, so I won't continue complaining about it because that would make me look silly. Luna's younger design is very perplexing to me. Of course, it was implemented in literally the first episodes of the show and then was also changed in later episodes. It's giving off more of a shy, girly personality, which is not really what we see from Luna when she's reintroduced as a major character in season 2 with her new design. But of course, I do like the idea of Luna being the more shy, serious sister when they're younger, and then being more bold and confident as they grow up. So for my younger Luna, I wanted her to look shy, like she is constantly living in her older sister's shadow. I also made her hair a darker blue than her pelt instead of a lighter blue. I just think that the lighter blue is a strange choice. Even if it was just for contrast or marketability or something similar. Not to say that I dislike Luna's original design from the first 2 episodes of season 1. Quite the opposite. I think she's very cute, despite my gripes with it, but I have gripes with every single design I talk about on this channel. It's why I do redesigns. I just think that it could be changed to better suit her personality, but I'll definitely understand if you prefer the original. Of course, I carried over the elements that I added to young Celestia, like the curved horn and double sets of wings. Though I had a lot more fun playing around with Luna's hair. I gave her a bun that kind of cascades down into a braid. I wanted them both to have long hair. I imagine that having a lot of magic in your body promotes hair growth or something like that. But to make sure their silhouettes weren't too similar, I left Celestia's hair down and put Luna's hair up. Another thing I'm going to mention before you comment about it, I know that ponies don't have cloven hooves. It's a comment I get on every single My Little Pony video I post. Even though I've mentioned it multiple times, I will continue to say it. It's just a personal design choice. I realize it's atomically inaccurate. So is ponies having wings and horns. That's the end of the discussion. I've been really enjoying adding these little tufts of fur at the back of their hooves. And Luna's colors didn't change all that much, other than, of course, darkening her hair. Unlike Celestia, she's pretty monochromatic with touches of that lighter blue that I really like. I tried to make their younger forms simpler so that the change to the older forms was more dramatic. And so here's baby Luna. Maybe not baby, she's probably a couple decades old. I don't know how ponies age. She's a teen, mid-late teens. I had an indescribable amount of fun designing adult Luna. Like I mentioned earlier though, their silhouettes did end up being pretty similar, even though that was my main gripe with the original designs. I've been in what I can only describe as a severe artistic funk. I just changed jobs, I just moved. There's a whole lot of things going on, so I apologize if My Little Pony redesigns are not up to their usual standard of quality. But Luna was incredibly easy for me at first. She's blue. She's space themed. She's a princess. It's perfect. There is a reason Luna has been one of my favorite characters from anything ever since I started watching My Little Pony. She has irrevocably shaped who I am as a person. And so I had to do her justice, and whether or not I did or not is up to you guys. Make sure to let me know in the comments. I feel like Luna possessed my body when I was drawing this. As you can see, I carried over the same bangs and bun from her younger design. I also curved her horn a lot more to look like a moon. Everybody, hold your applause, please. The main reason that the sisters look so similar in their original designs and then now look so similar in my designs is, of course, the silhouette of their hair. Luna does have the bun, but I did give her the same sort of front that's going down and cascading into these clouds. It just looks too good. I couldn't avoid doing it again. But I tried to differentiate them by making Celestia's hair a lot more wavy, whereas Luna's kind of just drops straight down. She's also got clouds in the middle and at the ends, whereas Celestia's clouds are just at the ends. There's no specific reason for this or any sort of symbolism. I just wanted them to look a little bit more different. I love this original look of the darker pelt with the lighter mane. It looks so good on Luna. She is so gorgeous. I love Princess Luna. The values are just a little bit too similar for my liking, which is just a nitpick, so I made her pelt a little bit darker and her mane a little bit lighter. They're both still very much dark blue, but now there's a lot more contrast. And another thing I did to add contrast was add a gradient from the inside of her hair to the outside of her hair, if that makes sense, where it gets lighter as it gets closer to her body. And I also made the gradient from dark blue to light blue at the bottom of her hooves a lot lighter. It kind of looks like clouds being illuminated by the moon from behind, if you can see my vision. Once again, in heavy contrast to Celestia, she ended up staying mostly monochromatic with only shades of blue and black. I thought about playing around with more of a galaxy theme, with adding in some purples and pinks, but I decided that I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want her to end up looking like those pairs of galaxy leggings. However, to add a little bit more visual interest, I did put some constellations in her hair, and I think they look so good. I was very heavily inspired by Skirk from Genshin Impact, who I recently got. And of course, after that, it was super easy. I just added some accents in silver and light blue, again for contrast. But here is Luna. I love how she turned out, not to pick favorites, but adult Luna is 100% my favorite. What do you think about the princesses' original designs? Not just Celestia and Luna, but Twilight and Cadence as well. Do you have anything that you would change about them? Anything that you would keep the same under any circumstances? Make sure to tell me every single thought you've ever had about anything ever in the comments below. And of course, make sure to check out my shop and pick up a My Little Pony keychain. Once again, they are buy two, get one half off, and shipping is free over $35. Right now, I only ship to the United States. Or if you're interested in designing products of your very own, make sure to check out Vogue Grace. All of the relevant links will be down in the description. Checking out the shop is a great way to support the channel, as well as getting something cute. But if you want another way to support the channel, of course, there's always my Patreon. Thank you so much to the people who will pay for me to purchase exactly one copy of Tomodachi Life for the 3DS off of eBay. My $10 patrons: Puntastic Artist, Little Wolfine, Vioon, Zigo Buzz, Wishing Star, Speckadoodle, Billy Lover, Neko Jack, Tyree West, Duran, Debris, and Nico to the Stars. As well as all of my other patrons, all of my subscribers, everybody who watches this video, everybody who likes and comments. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I post whenever I want. And if you're not new, make a new account and subscribe again. I have some experimental, I suppose, videos coming up in the future, so make sure to subscribe because you won't want to miss those. As always, I am Lucky Inkiio, and I will see you very soon. Bye!